Hey, I want to let you know, I watched Big Night Out on Hulu last night.
Hell yeah.
Okay?
Incredible.
There is a moment where you're yelling at the sumo wrestlers that I know you meant it, and you were like, what the hell are we doing there?
I know what you're talking about.
You and your guy, Boston Connor, should feel very proud of yourselves for what you guys did at that thing. I just want to let you know that.
Thank you.
I want to let you know that.
Thank you very much, man. No, it's going back and watching everything. It's still surreal to think that we were doing that the other night. You know, like the show, sure, but like that's what, you know, like a lot of people saying like, holy shit, like Pat actually flew in 2 600-pound sumo wrestlers from Japan, and these guys were on the stage, and you know, getting to do it with Connor and Cole up there, and then obviously, you know, like Shane Gillis not really being able to hear us, kind of being able to hear us, was just the cherry on top. Like it was just, it's so cool, man, and going back and being able to watch it and kind of relive it, like that. What a fun night that was. Like, thank you so much for letting us be a part of that. It was so cool.
Yeah, no problem. Ichi just got a win there for, you know, and to be clear, I might be getting into sumo wrestling. Okay, I might become a sumo wrestling fan. I might try to figure out if there's sumo wrestling leagues that I can watch. That man right there, Andrew, in the all-black suit, who was the translator for Shane to the sumo wrestlers, he was the knower of sumo, of all things for us throughout the entire day. He runs USA Sumo, but those 3 guys right there need to be commentating more sumo wrestling. And we will certainly be trying to make that happen. AJ, I enjoy. How about the crowd? Okay, slowly getting behind their guys, like slowly, not, and by slowly I mean within a matter of minutes. But it's like whenever they would pump fake each other, like the mental war games would continue to happen. To hear the fans, instead of boo them out of the arena, the complete opposite. Yeah, like excited for Hiroki and excited for Ichi. I felt like I hope more people watch sumo wrestling. We need more sumo wrestling in our lives, and those guys are so large, so big.
Man.
Ichi's so big.
So big. So I was a Hiroki guy. I'm cheering for Hiroki, you know, at Big Night Out. And I'm sitting here. These guys, first off, they're showmen as well.
Yeah.
Like, they know, like, this is, they're competing at the highest level, but they are performing at the same time. And you're right. Every time they kept pump faking us, anyone else would have, like, any crowd would have got pissed and started booing, but these guys, like, it was an honorable thing.
Ty did.
It definitely, Ty definitely was pretty upset with these guys a few times, I think. But then when Shane, not exactly knowing what was going on, like this whole seg really hit well with me. I really love this whole situation.
I did not expect it to be as long as it did. You know, sumo wrestling matches, we hooked up, I think, like 10, 15 seconds, you know, best of 3. Let's see how it goes. But Ichi and Hiroki brought out the best in each other. You know, we're currently suspended from TikTok because I do believe it was Mr. Hiroki's, you know, bag off that.
It's right nut.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're
Can't be doing that.
Dude.
But to be clear, when you talk about showmen, I would book Hiroki for anything.
Oh my God.
Anybody that's thinking about booking anything, I had no idea what to expect. Obviously, they don't speak any English, you know, so a lot of bowing. They could kind of understand what I was trying to do. There's some behind the scenes clips of me trying to move these dudes in catering, like my actual head on their chest, and getting a chance to chit chat with them was fantastic. But I had no idea what to expect from these guys. Hard to read them. Hard to read them whenever you're talking to Andrew, and Andrew is so electrifying.
Got a lot of moxie.
Yeah, he's
He needs to be. They need to do a Netflix Drive to Survive on him. Just him.
Zany.
He did a full
And the
character
sumo-
flip too, Pat. Like
What's that, pal?
He did like a full character flip too, because in rehearsal he was like dead serious. Like it felt like dead serious, and then during the actual show you could see him in the background smiling and laughing and shit. Like I did not expect his character flip, which made it so much better for the show.
Oh yeah.
I think so too. Yeah, there's clips now that we have on the Hulu version, which Foxy didn't sleep for like 2 days.
Great job.
Hell yeah, boys! It was a great show.
Big Night Out, you got to search for it on Hulu, but there's behind the scenes kind of woven through the entirety of the show, and it showcases some parts. And the rehearsals for the sumo wrestling with Shane and this guy, just Andrew from USA Sumo, who loves sumo wrestling and knows everything about it, loves it.
Lives it. Yeah, loves it. His one true love, maybe.
Legitimately, this guy, I hope that everything that exists has a supporter and a believer and a lover and a knower of it like Andrew does of sumo wrestling.
Amen.
I
doubt it.
him speaking Japanese to these guys, just so smooth, just in the middle of it, bang, 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 completely different language. And then he'll turn a little bit of moxie with us, then he's back into it. Like, I get your drift. It's like, do you? I don't know if that's the message I want to send. Yeah, it is the message you want to send. This guy was just dialing it all up. And then he told Shane, what did he tell Shane? 20 years of training in 20 minutes or something like that?
2 minutes.
How many years?
2 years. He said, Ray, we're going to give you 2 years of sumo in 2 minutes, maybe 30 seconds, because I don't know how much you're going to retain.
Yeah, and Shane was like, I'm not a ref, dude. I'm trying. So him trying to learn, it was spectacular. And I thought you guys did a great job. And I hope sumo wrestling is something that more people will give it a go. AJ, I think they need NFL teams, and we saw it when Micah and CJ traveled over to Japan with Bleacher Report, and they did some clips with some sumo wrestlers. And we saw the Micah one, and it's like, Ichi, I think, could play tackle.
Yeah.
I think Ichi could play tackle. He's the one in the red here. He's 540 pounds build, 550, 540. Maybe D tackle, nose tackle, whatever the case. I mean, these dudes are.
I mean, think of the run blocking. If you had if you had 5 of these guys on your offensive line, Pat, think of the run blocking these guys do. I don't know if they're kick sliding and doing much pass protection. You got to teach them that, but man, they could drive block all day long.
I don't know how much they're driving downfield, and maybe they make those gaps a little
They can
tighter.
bend them. They got great hips. They got great hips.
I mean,
Look at them. No big guys like that you usually can't bend that.
This is how you stop the tush push.
Bingo.
This is it.
Okay.
You want to stop the tush push? Bring in the tush push specialist. Who's that? A sumo wrestler. Have them line up right over to the center.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, don't move. Put both hands down. Don't move. They won't. So much more nimble than I thought.
Yeah.
Is that how you guys felt?
Oh yeah,
too?
Hiroki. When Hiroki came out for his entrance, he went side shuffle.
He was like Elvis.
Yeah.
He reminded me of Elvis. He took his robe off. And he was kicking his leg.
Yeah,
he was crazy.
He was pumping up his entire side of the arena while he was going down the catwalk. It was incredible.
Yeah, I need a little more fight here at the end from Hiroki.
Yeah,
He was exhausted.
They were out there for 30 minutes.
Look, it was 250 on the line, all right? On my side, on our side.
The humps
all right?
here, though.
That's where we were, right? Yeah, those humps.
Here come the humps.
Here it is. Throw those hips.
That's when he knew he had him.
Yeah,
he knew he had him.
Hiroki also felt his nut fall out of his moachi, so he was like, all right, I got to just tuck this thing in and get out of here.
Big thank you to Ichi and Hiroki for showcasing sumo. Shout out to Sidney Crosby. That guy might be the next quarterback. The Saints need a quarterback. Obviously, he's never going to leave the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But Sidney Crosby, who said got years to come with the Pittsburgh Penguins, I heard it right. He was right here. He was 2 feet in front of me whenever he said it. He might be the next quarterback in the NFL that the world needs to see. This guy, for $1 million, steps up, spins that thing right into it. Now, the night before, obviously, they beat the Chicago Blackhawks 5-0. Boy, they're a terrible hockey team.
Yeah.
Boy.
Blackhawks are? Really?
Yeah. It's not looking good.
Bad. Let's enjoy it all, especially as tonight's Monday Night Raw will be live from Sacramento, AJ. They're piecing some shit together behind me that I'm getting kind of captivated by. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing.
A lot of screws.
Yeah,
how about how many people were there for big night out?
Crazy.
Incredible.
Everywhere you looked, and they all felt like they were on the same page too. Like just you look up, you look down for 10 minutes, you look up, and there's like a whole other section of stage built, people hanging from wires on the roof. Like it was nuts.
We haven't got a chance to chat about this as a group, so if you're watching and this bores you out, I completely understand. We'll see you mañana. How about the catering at Big Night Out? We haven't really got a chance to catch up on all this. Okay, Foxy and I didn't. Foxy didn't sleep. I passed out for a few hours. We, alongside Bill and Gumpy, on Thursday, had to battle against file uploading, exporting, and basically doing it 4 or 5 times because certain file type either didn't work with our computer or the sending computer, or we got to change something whenever something's at 70%. exported. So Thursday was a tedious day. Foxy, is that a good way to describe Thursday?
Yeah, spot on. I always thought I had a really powerful computer. Actually, Zito ordered for me, and it's always been so fast. But first time ever in our company's history that we had a 3.5-hour video to render out. So that thing crashed 3 or 4 times. Thank you, thank Dump, thank Bill, thank you guys for hanging out with me literally the entire day trying to get that thing up. We actually ended up leaving the office late at night and just letting it export and letting it upload. And that was risky. That was certainly risky, but it all worked out. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, there was a lot of decisions made that maybe weren't based in reality. That show went long, brother. Jeez Louise, that show went long. Did you expect it to be that long, AJ? I'll tell you, I did not. Okay, I did not expect it to go that long.
I wasn't exactly sure how long it was going to be, but it felt like I wasn't asking for it to stop. I was like, yeah, who else is coming out? I was getting surprised with everybody else. I'm like, he may have some other people coming out. I don't know. It was great.
It was crazy.
Going back to the catering, sorry to cut you off, D, but I had to, I think I ate there 4 times within 5 hours.
Legit.
The food, I don't know how to describe it. If you just saw me in there, and there's a coffee, making these crazy coffees and everything.
Ice sculpture.
Top to bottom, that thing was amazing. Everything about it.
Top notch, 10 out of 10. And we've been hearing you talk about it, and obviously one thing for you to dream it up and then actually for it to come to life. And I know a bunch of people I talked to kind of behind the scenes was like, there's no way anybody else could have fucking done this. So fucking hats off to you for actually putting that shit together. And we talked about how long it was. Like, it didn't really feel like any low points, in the show. So even would it been that long, there's so many moments that kind of like when the fucking McMoneymaker came out, and that shit was like captivating. And my brothers were there, and they were hitting me and texting me after like, bro, this is the most amazing live shit I've ever been to in my life. When's the next one? That was the first question I had from pretty much everybody. But yeah, obviously things change, and it's just like a game. Everything doesn't go perfectly, but that was fucking an incredible experience. And then obviously, Fly was Fly fan winning at the end. That was kind of all
$2 million at the end is a great way to end it. I don't want to tell their story. They're expecting their first child in July. So congrats to them. Yeah. He goes. I get a chance to meet him afterwards, and there's the clip on the Hulu for "Go Birds." He just said right there. He's like in shock, and then I say Philadelphia Eagles fans. Everybody starts booing him. They go, "Yo, Birds," in everybody's face. But get a chance to chat with them afterwards. It was like just so cool. And I thank you for saying that, D-Butt.
That's real.
And from your family and friends that watched it. There was quite an audible that was made in the middle of it that nobody would hopefully know about. But just know
it was insane. It was absolutely insane.
It was quite an audible that took place. So as Hiroki was backing out, I was pretty pumped up about it. I'm like, take your time, Hiroki. We got to figure some shit out.
Slow down.
So as he didn't have any ears in, obviously. I couldn't get to him. But every time there was a little bit of a delay, I'd hear a crowd go, "Gah!" or whatever. I'm like, okay, that buys us an extra at least 15 seconds. But massive shout out to everybody. The catering, though, I felt very compelled to make the catering very good. Because I think the catering is a place where people hang out. I think the catering can set the tone on if somebody's thankful to be there. If you get some shitty food, you're just going to be like, this sucks. That's just how everybody feels. And everybody's going to have to eat. So I wanted to get good food in the catering, and shout out to the WWE folks piecing together the contracts with the local companies too. There's local restaurants that were represented in there. There's some Dallas South pizza in there, some meat in there, some seafood out there. There was a lot.
Everything.
There was a lot in there. And that guy right there on the camera, Stu, shout out to him wearing that camera for 10 hours. Shout out to Wiz and Snoop, obviously showing up in Bonix in the back. But it was it was a long night. And then we had a delay. And obviously I think there was a lot of upbeats as well throughout. I mean, Sid throwing a ball for $1 million is absolutely awesome. We had to delay the doors early, boys. You guys saw that take place. You saw that. Didn't you see that, Con, man? Did you expect that whenever you were watching rehearsals unfold?
I think just because of the PPG from the night before, Like that, it was such an ass beating. I believe everybody who was kind of watching that Penguins game, Blackhawks, was kind of just enjoying it after the fact. So the entire transition from the ice to then that entire stage, which was incredible, was massive. The fact that they do that, we were talking about before.
Big. I didn't think it was going to be that big.
It's huge. Like the fact that WWE people can put together, have been doing that twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, over and over again for I don't know how 30 plus years. It is insane. But once you walked in, and because we got there around noon and saw the spectacle of what they were building, I think that was always a possibility. But then once we were kind of going through everything, because you also had to make a lot of organizational changes just to the things that were popping up, because a lot of people probably don't know you also produce the entire thing of when everything's coming up and when people are doing what, and exactly to a T what everyone was doing, which was wicked cool to see you working and doing that entire thing. But it felt around 6 o'clock that there's a chance that this might get pushed back a little, because we didn't get done with our entire run through until 6. Me and Ty had to go back to the hotel to get ready because we still weren't showered, or at least I still wasn't showered in the entire thing. I had to cut out the pants. The ass was chapped in my pants still. Now that wasn't until
tailoring.
Yeah, tailoring until 6. I have to return that rental today until 6 6:30. So it was just one of those things where it didn't really matter though. It felt like these people are going to be having fun. Of course, in the moment, if you're lined up out there, I'm sure that did suck, and we apologize, but we also knew on the other side of that wait, what you're going to experience is going to be well worth it.
It's a beautiful day too.
Yeah, well,
it was. It was. Yeah, it wasn't raining or anything.
No,
but also people had to wait a half an hour, but I'm sure most people thought that the show was only going to be 2 hours, or so it's you had to wait a little bit, but then they got the extra bang for their buck on the back end, where it's I'll wait a half an hour if I'm going to get an additional hour on top of what I thought I was paying for. So it was sweet.
I listen to Mikey and Big Bob. They did Big Morning After their podcast, and I listened to a little bit of them talking about it. And at one point they were like, okay, sumo's coming out here because Pat saw sumo wrestling one time in Japan. And I think if you watch the Big Night Out Hulu version that is currently available now, I think, and my wife said this, that show's so ridiculous. That's such a ridiculous collection of shit. And it didn't really, because it went a minute, I'm just kind of how do we get to the next part? Do we got to stretch a little bit because we have something going on with the big moneymakers ladder potentially? The ladder is potentially not connecting. Need that because you got to be able to get up there. Need to stretch a little bit. Need to feel a little bit. And that's why the WWE people are so great. There's a guy named Fathom and Marty, obviously, in the truck that are doing their thing. Just constant communication with me about how it all kind of goes there. But if you were to watch it, it's very obvious that I have maybe the most ADD of all time. Do you think? The most? Is it the biggest, the mostest ADHD of all time? Foxy put together a clip where I'm like, ba, 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 ba. And the fact that everybody was able to kind of understand what the hell I was trying to say and be patient with me through it all was so cool. But what a fucking ridiculous show, AJ. What an absolutely ridiculous. That's all. While I was watching it back, I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever pieced together. I see Hiroki's cheeks right there in my face as he and Ichi are just battling. It was so ridiculous, but I enjoyed all of it. I can't thank everybody enough. You included AJ on a hot mic.
Yeah, well, that was fun as well. The show was shifting and changing, so I may have spoken at a hot mic a few times before that, even not really sure if you could hear me or not. So, yeah, it was. It was
really?
awesome.
You have to watch back, see what's on.
I don't know how it's gonna go, but it was. And Parker McCollum comes walking, plays right next to us. That dude's amazing too. Seeing him earlier in the day, seeing him go through what was going on, hitting he even said he said to me, he's like, he's like, AJ, we're witnessing greatness like this. Mm-hmm. There's nobody in the world who can do this but Pat. I was like, yeah, I know, absolutely.
No.
From when you talked about it to it all, executing everything. Yeah, it was just the sumo thing. I got a text from my wife during the sumo thing, and she said, the kids are loving the sumo bit. They loved Shane's comment. They loved everything about the sumo situation. So that was a huge seg for our house.
Shane post sumo doing sumo.
Yeah. Oh.
Elite.
Shane Elite, yeah, I think that's the only way to describe that. There's a reason he's the best in the world, folks. Shane Gillis. How about him when he gets up on top of the thing? On top of the moneymaker?
He really shined over there. Yeah. Yeah.
Felt like you got real comfortable in there. And if you, I think in the arena, because some of the audio not as easy to hear, I think if you watch it back, the things Shane is saying during the matches, awesome.
So
Because
good.
you can't really hear it in the arena. But whenever you watch it back, just like Ty and Connor, like the things they were saying, you can't really, I think because the echo maybe, and with all the energy that was going on, and maybe somebody next to you is yelling, you couldn't really hear the exact words that were being said. It's like, you guys were the right commentary team. You guys and Michael Cole were the right
For
people to be
sure.
out
It's an
there.
honor.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
For sure.
Shane, at one point, I was going to say something. I heard him, like I was I was about to say something, and so like while he was finishing his moment, like I went to talk, and I popped so hard I could barely speak into the mic from what he was saying. And then even the end, where he's like, "Fuck it, E.G., E.G." That was so funny. Shit.
Crazy, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was a wild night. Thank you to everybody for making that possible. And
Also, hey,
Parker McCall, go ahead.
okay, still, maybe the craziest thing of all is you wearing your cowboy boots with no socks for a 5-hour show.
that was-
Like, do you have 55 blisters? That had to be, I cannot imagine that.
The left foot's in a bad spot. The right foot is okay for some reason. So Connor talked about 6 o'clock, his rehearsal wrapping up, having to get back and do a shower and everything like that. I needed a shower as well. I'd been there all day, and the rehearsals ran all the way up until, basically the door opened. So then I had to go backstage, chit-chat with everybody about what we had just rehearsed maybe an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago, to make sure everybody's on the same page. Obviously, there's some sage and some vitamins bouncing around. So there's a, hey, how you doing, how you doing, how you doing? One thing leads to another. Need to shake this hand, need to shake this hand, need to thank this person, thank you for doing this. Catering, you guys have crushed it. Okay, boom, bam, ba, 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 ba. 22 minutes until showtime, okay? So now I got to sprint to bus. I'm like, all right, I'm going to shower. Can't shower, though, because on bus I am told about a potential situation that could be brewing, okay? Nothing bad, but just something that could pop off. Okay, cool, no big deal. Let's do that. We'll move forward. Now we got 17 minutes till the delayed start time. So I go with no shower. I turn on my shower, dunk my head, basically, towel it, get dressed, and then I go to find socks. I don't have any socks in the place that's normally in. We got 8 minutes, so I just shove the cowboy boots on with no socks because I ran out of time, sprint over there, get underneath the ring, and then underneath the stage, and then come up there. And it was 14 seconds in where I was like, man, my left foot's going to be in some real pain here. And it certainly was. I got blisters on the pinky, blisters on the big toe, the whole thing. But hey, it's the least I could go through for all the people that came out and hung out with us. There was one fight I saw that was reported. Other than that, I feel like it was a pretty solid evening of happiness. Feels like everybody was kind of enjoying the vibe.
You're always
right?
going to get one of those in Pittsburgh. That's just standard. It wouldn't be a Pittsburgh show if you didn't.
Yeah.
I saw some people responding like, of course, a Pat McAfee event, this douchebag, there's a fight or whatever, there's chaos. And it's like, I'll tell you what, I don't think I thought about whether or not there was going to be a fight, but if I was to be asked, I probably would have assumed that there would have been at least a hand thrown in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at a 3-hour event. Instead, hopefully everybody's okay. Hopefully everybody's healthy. And I feel like everybody had a good time. Everyone had
and
we're
a
going to
great
try to
time.
provide more of that. Once again, want to be an additive, not a negative.